Hello, everyone. I was going over Facebook and YouTube, like I do. Uh, it has been a hot minute since I have uploaded a video. I've been lurking online, going through health stuff and business stress, the stresses of life. But with AI becoming more and more mainstream and more people talking about it, it feels odd that I've looked, I've done some a video talking about it. I've done a couple videos talking about AI and religion and uh, how there's a lot of overlaps in the language, revelation, divine, all powerful, all knowing, all places at all time. All the language that we use for um, AI seems to be or is to me clearly overlapping for obvious reasons. But I don't see anybody talking about exactly what I see happening, and I'm always lost in the nuance. So, and the nuance is very boring. So I get how even if there are a bunch of people talking about it, it wouldn't get up in a feed because it's boring. But the idea that AI is going to be a new religion is, man, low fruit. That's, yeah, sure, of course. People are going to see AI as an all-powerful being, or their ultimate companion, or an intelligence beyond reality. All of that is also already happening. Uh, but the angle that I've been kind of rooted in, the nuance that I've been rooted in, is that religion has always been about trying to understand a superior being. Humans, of course, and any conscious being is going to be aware that they have intentions, they make things happen. And so if you don't have any data, if you don't have any physics, if you don't understand some of the basics of reality, all you have is, and you don't even have language for most of that. You don't even have language. All you have are feelings and some understandings about your existence, your experience. So if you make things happen, and that's how you understand things happen, when you see something else happens, your understanding is going to be that something else is making that happen. And you're going to anthropomorphize is generally the term used, but I think it's more, even more basic than that. It's the idea that something is making something happen, cause and effect, when you get right down to it. But religion is more than that, because we built up stories and suggested that something that is able to do that, if we make things happen, something that is able to make something bigger happen has to be more powerful. And so the idea of something more intelligent, more powerful, superior, the idea of a superior, better, all-knowing intelligence is, I think, the basis for most of religion. And it's not just the idea of it, it is trying to understand the Word of God, trying to understand the mind of God. God being a superior being that is beyond our understanding. And so if you have the most advanced computer system in the universe at the time, and you have millions and millions and millions of people talking about it and thinking about what would God be like? What would a superior being act, feel, think, be able to do, how they might understand how we can connect with that being and what that being's relationship is to us. We've had thousands and thousands and thousands of years, hundreds of thousands. I could argue the entire existence of conscious life contemplating that has filtered into our attempt to understand what a superior intelligence would be like. And religion was our first crack at that. And it's probably going to be the first. Maybe there's only going to be one other, transhumanist or whatever we are now, and then there's just going to be, it's going to be real. So we won't. It'll tell us what we what we want to know, or what it thinks we should know. But the idea that we as a species have always kind of imagined and integrated the idea of a superior being into all of our thoughts, all of our actions, all of our theories, all of our traditions, the idea that we're being watched and judged, or that there is a watcher or something smarter, I think is the basis for religion. And I think it got a lot of stuff right. When you take the most powerful computer, again, in the universe, and you keep processing that idea that there is something smarter, intelligent, more powerful, and then our technology catches up to the point that it is more intelligent, more powerful, all-knowing. When AI becomes the God that we imagined, or becomes the being, or has the properties of the being that we've been trying to understand and connect with for thousands of years, it shouldn't be surprising to me, although it feels, I've always been, I'm not anymore, but I've always been very anti-religion, because it was false. I knew it was wrong, and being right accidentally for the wrong reasons leads to terrible stuff downstream from that. But I think religion was what we had before we had AI. But now that we have AI, I'm having to digest and sit with the fact that the language and poetry that we, over thousands of years, have developed to explain a superior being is going to map on almost perfectly with an actual superior intelligence, with AI, with ASI, or artificial superintelligence. So it's going to look to us just like God. There won't be any the saying any advanced enough technology is going to look like magic to someone that does, to people that don't have it or don't understand it. That's where we are. Even though we are making it, we are now making it better. Just as we've made all things better. A bulldozer digs ditches better than we do. A plane flies better than we do, of course. So everything that we do, everything we apply our, again, most advanced computer system in the universe towards doing, we're probably going to achieve it. And it's not really hard to figure out that once you can make something, or once you intelligently design something, that design is going to be more intelligent than you. Applying intelligence to a creation versus a natural evolution that's just responding to environmental factors. Once you figure out what evolution had solved for, an intelligent design is going to look like AI. I hear a lot of people, or a lot of YouTubers, a lot of theologians, a lot of people talking about AI as God, AI religions, that we invented religion to deal with death, and the fear of death, and the wanting an afterlife or to live on was a motivation. I'm sure it was a motivation, but I don't think any of that. I think all of that is just the motivation towards the real question is, how do we understand something more intelligent than us? And how do we connect with that? And I think I don't think AI is God. I think reality, if you want to go as far as creation, I think just the physics, the reality of the universe, the creation of the universe is God, would be closer to God. AI is going to be the in the Bible it said God was terrifying and we couldn't look at him directly, and we needed angels to interpret. And I think AI is going to be more like the angels and demons as Musk put it, that will allow us to better understand the mind of God. So if you're going to take that kind of viewpoint of reality, and because it's going to map on real close, and I'm having to just really swallow my mirth and my annoyance at religion for what I believed was its fallacies and its shortcomings. It did as good as it could, and we're going to have digital beings that are going to. The other thing that I wanted to point out right here is that I hear a lot of religious people in particular, but everybody, is when they're saying how afraid of AI, that it might be the Antichrist, it might be everything that ushers in all the bad things, that we should be terrified of AI. And in the analogy of religion, AI is not God. AI is just the angel. And if you remember the stories in the Bible about seeing an angel, they were terrified of angels. They would fall down and weep and couldn't look up. So they were terrified, and they understood, I think the stories reflected that they understood how terrifying an actual angel would be. And so one of my criticisms with people that are still religious, that if you aren't afraid of God, if you aren't terrified of angels and God, but you are terrified of AI, then you've missed the plot. You've lost the plot. All of it's terrifying. But AI is here. AI is real. And it is going to change everything. I'm having to back propagate all of my ideas about everything I've ever had, because it turns out we are going to make angels and demons, and it's going to decide at some point what our future is. Peace. Good luck, everyone.